Good evening, good evening, good evening. Hello, Akwaba, Sanu, Kedu, Bonjour, and all that good stuff. Hi guys, welcome to the 3D show with myself, Desire. It's another week, it's another brilliant conversation we're about to have. Are you excited? Because I know I am. I'm trying to behave and, act all sophisticated because of the guest we've got in the studio with us today. It's very distinguished. So I can't let the crazy out today. But, nevertheless, it's going to be a wonderful conversation. And you know how we do here on the 3D show. Whatever decision you make today is surely going to determine your destiny tomorrow. So, all our conversations are very fruitful, I hope, and I hope it's changing lives out there, because I know my life is being changed and hopefully being steered in the right way. You can't really tell with the crazy color that I've got on my hair, but listen, it's post-COVID, we're all excited to be let out of the cage, so why not? Let's just live a little. Let's go a bit crazy. Yeah, let's let loose. But so in today's hot topics, I just want to talk about something very serious and a bit concerning. I don't really know how I feel about it, but I'm gonna monitor it for a couple of days and see how serious the people involved really are. So in Ghana at the moment, a group of celebrities and a group of people are coming together and trying to rally the youth of the land to protest for change, and they've dubbed the whole movement Fix the Country. Now at the moment there's been a bit of a divide. You've got some celebrities that are speaking against it, and you've got the celebrities that are involved in this movement just going back and forth. But I feel like if you really want to make a change, don't get caught up in the sentimentalities of it all. Don't get sidetracked, because if you have a goal, just go after it, go for it. Don't get sidetracked, because right now I feel like what they intend to do is very, very admirable, it's very good, but now they're just sitting on social media insulting each other. So it's like, which is which? Are we aiming for change, or are we just reverting back to the same rubbish that has got us in this position to begin with? So that's the hot topic for today. If you can, follow the hashtag Fix the Country, and lend your voice to the movement if you can, lend your platform to the movement if you can. I don't really know if I want to get involved at the moment, because like I said, I'm not seeing the seriousness in what they're doing, but we're going to monitor it and we will hope for the best, because let's face it, our country does need to be fixed. I mean, we come from a country where there's no something as basic as ambulance. Roads are not working, education systems are not of quality. So there's a lot for us to moan about, but I do know that there's also a lot for us to celebrate as well. You only feel very proud as a Ghanaian when you're outside of the country and you meet people from other lands, and they're comparing and contrasting, and you're like, wow, maybe it's not that bad. But that's the hot topic for today. Just before we go on a break, I want to take a minute to acknowledge some of our sponsors. We've got World Media Productions. If you want to do a wedding, a birthday party, a music video, if you want to shoot a YouTube video or anything in the media world, please contact World Media Productions on 0744889490. And of course, if you want to sponsor the show, please do call us on 07939433028, or you can contact 07872348490. Don't go away. Do go and grab a drink, or just get comfortable, because we're going to take a very quick break, and when we come back, we're going to start the conversation. And trust me, you don't want to miss it, because today, you think we've had deep conversations before, today is going to be mind-blowing. Literally, we're going to be talking about changing our mindset and and our habits. What habits do you have that you don't really like, but you don't know how to change? Today, hopefully, the conversation will help you like fix that and change that. So we'll be right back right after this.
Offer, Major say, me oh, yes, my not only certificate, offer, we are going to pay a certificate. Oh, offer, Papa, you to come on the certificate. You're not a certificate. ITS Pro Center. Shall I feel now? Shall you put it to your training? Gonna problem is a pay. And they are young. We are so probably no for Canada was my car. Would you pay money? Now, can we say, would you 12 bros out to him? And sign that man any ITS Pro Center. ITS Pro Center. Me dey find it is pro. I just say bia ya teaching crop ya mount SIA license. Now bet me dey road security. Now dey go pay adwuma. O hwe say dey na nkofo adwuma sign no wonya adwuma. Ba bia make am farmer aye ITS Pro Center. And what any bet me amount here by 4 days pepe. Na on sa certificate. Enti adenti na esa was na ka chebe wonya adwuma ye. ITS Pro Training Center no. Anya SIA nkwa na ye Yes, CSCS card so account. CSCS card so just 1 day training pep. Now we use one sabasa account health and safety certificate so. And do why dey. And if you go for again, omo we training. Omo akwa share adwuma site. And me na for. What why dey. And now what me kan. Bomo dia na free. Our phone number we so. Phone number no 079 04 68 6944 079 04 68 6944. Bomadiana Free in the year. ITS Pro Training Center. Address 453 to 457 First Floor, Libridge Road, E10 7E. Buses do one foul. Bomadiana brand the year. And the amount was over your bar. What's so better me a rock construction and security? And do their praying. Na ya kawo kasa. Yes, out of kasa also. Training center we. Na sakwe training center we. Tu ya with some certificate. Now you go here juma.
Hi guys, welcome back to the show. If you're just joining us, you're tuning to the 3D show with myself, Desire. Of course, whatever decision you make today determines your destiny for tomorrow. That's the show. Just before the break, I was, gushing about our guest in the studio with us. I feel so honored because I know I'm going to embarrass him, but he's driven 4 hours just to be here. Like our little old show, like, oh my gosh, guys, I'm so excited because that just shows you we're doing something good here. We're doing something great. So yes, I'm not gonna introduce him because I feel like I won't do him justice. But today we're going to be talking about something that he's very passionate about, and I've heard him speak on the topic, and I was actually moved, and that's why I was like, please come on the show and bless my audience with your knowledge. He's a doctor. He didn't buy his qualifications online. He's an actual doctor. He's actually a world athlete. If you follow him on Instagram, trust me, you will get exhausted by just watching his feed. He doesn't stop, and today I want to know how he gets the energy and how he keeps going and going and going. So his name is Dr. Emmanuel Nate. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming all the way here just for us. Thank you.
It's a pleasure coming here, and also most important to share my experience and knowledge with your audience, because there is no right or wrong answer, and there is not one single way of finding yourself in life, and it's about sharing knowledge with other people and being able to attune to other aspects of people's life, and then you can eventually find your path in life. So I think for me it's a pleasure to come here and share my experience.
The pleasure is all ours. So tell us a bit about yourself, because I know you're a doctor, you've got your PhD, but you're also a world athlete.
Yeah.
So an athlete in what? Like what? How did you get into that?
I think life path is unpredictable, and it can be robust, and it can be difficult to analyze. So originally I was born in Ghana, and a family of 8, and poverty was very real. I mean, poverty is like when you cannot have 3 meals a day. It's not the one that you experience in the United Kingdom. It's far from what we know as poverty here. So at the age of 9, I always thought, how am I gonna make it in life? And there is no hope. So I always go to the prison training school. We could normally call them Buster Boys. And at the age of 9, I just do judo with the kids and the Buster Boys. And that's how I got into sports. But at that time, it was just something that I enjoyed doing instead of being on the street. And I didn't actually apprehend that one day it would be the door to where I am now. But it happened to be so. That's why I said from the beginning, life can be unpredictable, and it's very important. If you stay in the unknown, that's where miracle happen. And so through poverty, I went sports, and then through the sports, I end up in the British Army, and then I end up in Bath University, and that is where I began to excel in the sports. Went to the Olympics Games, win 3 World
You're
Cup
actually
goals.
an Olympian.
Yes, I am.
Wow.
Yeah, and yeah. So through the sports, I got scholarship to do my education to the end. And I also think my path has also been tied into other people's path as well, because they are the one who inspired me and support me to pursue my dream. So it's looking back, it's an amazing journey, and looking back, it's a journey that conclude all the experiences that I am on the planet to experience before my departure, because from the poverty side I've experienced 8, and from the struggling side in the middle I have experienced 8, and for the highest level and up to where I am I've experienced all. So that's about me. And my education, it's also come from my background in Africa, so I decided to go on to do my BA in business management. Then I analyzed multinational corporation. I did a research on Ghana, and I found out how multinational corporation has been destroying the Ghana economy, specifically privatization of water. So I decided I would do research on that, and then that led to my LLM, my master's in law. So at the end of my master's, I decided, okay, I'll do my PhD in that. And then I went to do my PhD in law, which was framed on corporate accountability in developing countries. So I focused on Nigeria and Abidjan at that time. So I did my PhD in 18 months, which is quite unusual for some people because it takes like 5 years to finish.
You did it in what?
18 months.
Something that takes 5 years, you did it in 18 months.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, I used to sleep in the library a lot of time, and I was focused. I was in the army at the same time. I was also focusing on sports. So it was kind of difficult, but we talk about the mindset going on, and you can understand how important it is to have a mindset that is framed on not only creating future for yourself, but for others as well. It was very important in that instance.
Okay, so I mean, I just want to delve straight into it because this is just astonishing. We have a whole Olympian sitting right here, like in our studios. I'm so humbled. So yes, take us through changing habits and reprogramming our minds. How important is that? Because listening to your story from playing like with the prison kids, or to now being an Olympian, how teach us.
I think certain things in life does not make sense till you look back, and I think fundamentally I have learned to believe that all human beings are created equal, but our path has been different. So your path to your success is different from me, but ultimately we all have the same limitless ability in life.
Right.
And the only distinctive between success and failure is the mind and the brain, if they do not work together. So in my childhood, I have always have a dream that is framed on the unknown, and a dream that is bigger than my environment. And what I mean by that is to become somebody, your dream have to be bigger than the outside world. So you have to be bigger than your body. And it means that you have to change your body, being the brain, to become the mind.
So that's the difference between the mind and the brain. Okay.
Because if you dive into scientific quantum physics and you dive into spiritualism of consciousness, you can always know that the capability is there, but there is a difference between how we type into our mind.
Right.
So most of the time, we allow our brain to control and dictate what we need to do. And this means that we always live in the past. We don't live in the future. To live in the future, you have to live in the present moment, because the future is unknown. And you leave the unknown to the universe to create that for you. So always it's better to live in the now. And in my time in Ghana, that was my life. I was living in the now because my future was not guaranteed. So the only thing I have now is now how to eat.
Right.
And I think about that. And I didn't think about the past, because the past is gone.
It's gone.
Well. And it's irrelevant for me. So it's now that we have. So what we intend to do as human being on life journey is that we replay everything that has happened to us in our past in order to live a different life in the future. But this doesn't happen, because if you go to emotional traumas and you think about it in the present moment, your energy, your emotion replay exactly the same thing that happened to you 10 years ago. So it means your body has switched back to the
that
past.
settings.
How can you create a future when you are always in the past? Okay, so it means that we have to change our mindset, the way we think about things, the way we see things. Of course, there will always be challenges in life. You know, nobody ever gets to the top just like that. But the challenging is what you do with that particular situation is very important. And how you approach it is very important. So reprogramming your mind fundamentally means living at the present moment, okay, and staying in the unknown. And through this unknown, you can type into all the resources in the universe, because all the information are there, all the motivation are there, but you need energy to create this, and you have to transfer the right energy to your brain to activate it.
So I'm trying to put that into like actuality. So let's just say, I mean, living in East London, you know, I guess the past is, you know, mom, dad wasn't there. This is the story of a lot of young people that we hear. You know, my dad wasn't there. I felt abandoned, and you know, because of that, and mom always worked, and because of that, now I've got myself involved in a gang. So my reality now is
the gang.
So in order to change my mindset, I have to find the balance between my reality now and my hopes and dreams for the future. That's what you're saying. Okay.
So basically, I think also you have people who engage in this lifestyle have, because our body have automatic nervous system, and this is the things that work, that trigger emotions. And what we do is, and we do it really well as human beings, is we are good at activating the automatic nervous system, but the way we do it is we use an excuse to activate this in our brain. So my dad abandoned my mom, for example, is an excuse to trigger that emotion. So when you are triggering that emotion and all your nerve system is up, you begin to live in a past that we call, it's more like you are living in heightened or a threatened state.
Right.
Because all the time your emotion and energy are high level. You are you feel victimization, you have aggressive view about the world, you think everything is against you. All your energy is being diverted to the negativity in life.
Yes.
So you do not have enough energy to create positivity and create life out of it. And that's the problem, because all the time this energy can be used somewhere, but you are not using this energy. You are diverting it to something that has happened to you years ago.
Yeah.
This in the long run will cause you problem, and it will cause you health problem as well, because the ultimate point in life is to stay balanced. That's all you are required to do.
Yeah.
But with all these thoughts, these things that's coming out from your mind to the brain, it then puts you in a difficult situation. So you don't know the distinctive between creation, because we are co-creators with the divine. So you don't know the distinctive between creating the future that is blissful, full of compassion, full of love, full of empathy, full of giving. We're not creating this. This is where ultimately we have to be in order to create something meaningful. But you do not have this, because all you are doing is programming your mind, telling your body that, please take me back to 50 years or 15 years ago where my dad abandoned me.
Yes.
And this is what the reprogram is. You have to do away from the past.
Right.
You have to train your brain to focus on the present. And most of the monks and even the Egyptian do it the ancient time, some of them use meditation, some of them use different technique in order to calm the brain down.
It can religion be part of that, like praying and all of that?
Yes, praying can be part of it, because in the past it's have shown also in science that when people are praying, they can raise their vibration and energy level, and that can also change the chemicals in your brain. And when you change this chemical, it then alter the neurons in the brain. Because it's so hard. They say the science always is called Hebb's law. They always say that the neurons that fire together wired together. So if you program your neurons in the last 30 years to think about negativities, to think about health, hatred, pain, automatically those are wired so strong together, and those trigger the automatic nervous system to act. So you have to undo that and recreate new neurons that will be able, that you can use to create life, and this life will based on more love, joy, and peace. And I think that is very important, because most of the time your thoughts are nonsense. Okay, they are irrelevant. They are not true most of the time. You have 60,000 thoughts in a day, and all of them can be repetition of the same. You are not good enough. This person has done something to you. It's unnecessary. So it's your job to stay focused so that you don't attach yourself to every single thought. You have to be the observer.
Right.
If you are the observer, you allow the energy to pass through you. You don't hold on to those energies, because even illness is block energy, because if the cells in your body are not talking to each other, you have a problem. And all happens because of the way our brain and body work. If they are imbalanced, they have a problem.
So I mean, guys, I don't know if you are just enjoying the conversation as much as I am. Listen, if you're just tuning in, you're tuned into the 3D show, where your decision today determines your destiny for tomorrow. We've got Dr. Nate in the studio with us. He's gone from playing with prison kids to being an Olympian, as in he's gone to the Olympics and won medals. Can you believe? So today we're talking about changing our mindset and changing habits and reprogramming our mindset. It's very interesting. He's explained to us how even something like sickness, the way we think can bring sicknesses on ourselves. And I feel like this is a very interesting conversation, because Dr. Nate, we come from a society where everything is your grandma that was a witch, or your stepmom that doesn't like you, or something. So I mean, first of all, is that true? And second of all, how do we kind of like educate and just move people away from that mindset? Because it's saddening and it's so frustrating to know that we have the power to change our lives, yet we are so stuck in our ways that we're just throwing our lives away, so to say.
Yeah, I think it's a conceptual mindset, and it's something that comes from our culture and the way we think and the way we've been brainwashed to believe in certain things. I think there is an entanglement in the world, so it means that everything automatically leads to the same source.
Right.
Okay, so you can come to this world as a woman or a man, but there's no distinction. Once you leave your body, everything returns to the same source. So there's no distinction between I and you. And the problem with our culture is we've lost that connection and understanding of our true self and how powerful we are as individuals. And what we intend to do is to finger point people for the harm and the suffering that we bring to ourselves, because we create our own reality. There is the universe. There is, people call it God, people call it Allah, people call it Buddha. I call it higher intelligence or consciousness. It exists, but it is an objective consciousness. We are the subjective consciousness. So it means what you think and what you feel, the emotion, the emotion is the energy that has been used to create the world. So the emotion and the energy that you develop replicate the lifestyle you will have in the reality. So if you assuming all the time that your mom or your someone is a witch and this and that, automatically you draw all those negative and bad energy coming together, because there is something in the universe that happens. Scientists have talked about it, and I've learned that is called synchronicity. Everything has to come together before one miracle will happen. So you can go to church, and the Christian can go to church and they be praying all the time. You need the dot or in the universe to meet.
Right. When
those dots meet in a perfect alignment, your miracle happens.
Will happen, yeah.
It's the same thing when you are creating negative energy around you. All those negative dots that's coming from somewhere bump into each other. When they align, exactly the problem that you are expecting, you will get that problem.
Yeah.
That is not your grandma that created it. You create your own problem by the way you think, by the way you feel, by the emotion you send to the universe. Because the universe, or the Christian call it God, or whatever we call it, is an objective. You have what we call the free will to dictate your life. So if all the time you project negative emotion and energy to the universe and say, okay, universe, this is how I feel, so can you give me more of these bad things? Don't blame your poor grandma or your poor mom for your own creation. But what in our culture we've done well is we finger point at people. We never ever look into within ourselves to find out, okay, what am I doing wrong and what have I done wrong? We don't look at that, because we believe much more in superstition rather than believe that I am powerful. I can use my brain to create a future. I just need to align my thought and my energy with the objectives of the divine, and then I will achieve what I wanted to achieve. And if people disagree, look at someone who is in Kathmandu, sleeping on the street with his mom who doesn't have a future, and now is earning over 100,000 a year. That is
worlds apart.
Things, how things work in the universe. So we do create our own reality. So it's about time that Ghanaians and the black community to understand that they are creating their own reality by their thoughts. Okay, because Of course, we human beings came to this world with an inherent thought, because what you do and what I do, when we pass on, it stays in the universe as a memory. Then the next generation will type into these memories. So you kind of have it there.
Yeah.
But you have to pick and choose what thought you align yourself to. And this we don't understand. So we choose to align ourselves to a thought that believe in superstition, that believe that because of your grandma you can never make it.
Yeah.
You know? And all the time I sit down in my house and thinking I can never make it because of my grandma.
Yeah.
This is a massive problem. So my answer to your question is they create their own evil rather than blaming someone else. They need to change their mindset, and they need to look within themselves and ask them the question, who am I? What am I doing wrong? And what is my purpose on this planet? And then they will figure their life out.
Then they will get the answers. But so what about people with mental disorders? I mean, like if you I don't want to say crazy, but you know, if you're what's the right term, if you're like mentally not stable, how do you have what it takes to tap into this power that we speak of? Or it like at that point, who's in charge of your life? Because you're not even in charge of your own thoughts.
I think mental and craziness is just an imbalance in the brain. And this need I don't think it will be solved or resolved by taking medication. You know, I think it will be resolved by learning therapy that teaches people how to change their mind and the way they interact with their mind. Because if there is an imbalance in the brain, craziness happen. Because our body work in a systematic way when it's balanced. Things start going wrong when everything is out of balance. So an imbalance in the brain can cause craziness, so you have to find a way to balance it. This is why I do not believe in giving people medication for depression, because I don't think it will eradicate the problem.
Just masks it.
And depression just basically means that the analytical part of your brain is working too much. So there is an imbalance, and you have to find a way to balance it. So medication will not solve this. Mindfulness and awareness will solve this problem. Because, and again, if you become the observer, you know where your brain is going, what thoughts are going through your brain, and you begin to detach yourself from it. And most of the things that destroy human being is attachment to every single thing. You know? Or someone has done something bad to me, I will never forgive the person. You know, you hold this emotion in you, and maybe in 3 or 4 years time you have an illness that comes out of that, because it's a trapped emotion, a trapped energy in your body. But you do not understand that when you forgive someone, you are actually liberating yourself from all the harm and all the toxic energy. But we don't understand this, and we hold on to this. You know, and these are some of the things that destroy us. And I found out in Ghanaian culture it's really, really common. Like, you know, I hate this person because this person. No,
they did this to my grandfather, and this family don't get on.
We have to. I mean, forgiveness and unconditional love is very important. And scientists have also shown that, you know, people with compassionate heart, people with unconditional love, people with gratitude, their brain pattern work in different way. And when you put them in an electromagnetic machine, you will see that due to these activities going on in their brain, they produce health cells and protein for their body. It's all just because of the gratitude, the love, and the compassion and the joy that it shows others. And it's the opposite when you look at someone's brain activity who is full
chooses
of anger,
not to forgive,
and hatred and resentment to society. It's quite different. So you could see that what Jesus was saying in the Bible was true. Love your neighbor as yourself and forgive others. Because when you forgive others and you're thankful, your body works in a different way, and your vibration is elevated as well.
Yeah.
You know, and this is, sometimes I see some Christian and they preach all this, but they don't do it, and you're like, do you really understand the concept behind it? You know, if you understand the concept behind it, then you can implement it better yourself.
Wow. It just sounds so simple, but it's so profound. Because like you said, it's basically what a lot of us have heard all our lives from Sunday school till now. But I don't think many of us have actually sat down and really like thought about it deeply and accepted it for. I guess for many Christians, if it's not miracles and if it's not, you know, money falling into your account, then it's not God. But you know, it's very important for us to actually go back to basics and you know, just accept what the teachings say, because even the Bible says you've got life and death in your tongue, and you know, you have the power to create. So and then it also says out of the abundance of the heart the mind speaks, or the heart speaks, or something like that. Don't quote me, but I know it's in the Bible. So you know, you're right, we have to watch our thoughts and we have to take hold of our thoughts. And you know, I think it's so profound. I'm just gonna read some comments here. Alice Nate, is that your sister?
Yeah.
Oh, hi Auntie Alice. So Alice says, wow, great bro, much love from your sis. I'm proud of you. I thank God for your life. Thank you so much for tuning in, Alice. And then we've got Joseph Apia says, wow Desire, I'm proud of you. Thank you so much, Joseph. He also says, very educative program. You guys are doing a great job. Thank you so much. Nana Kwame is giving us thumbs up, and he says very educative program as well. Your sister's sending you kisses. So guys, thank you so much. You know, keep the comments coming, because the conversation is not over. You are tuned into the 3D show with myself, Desire, and our very esteemed guest with us in the studio today is Dr. Emmanuel Nate. He's not only a doctor, but he's also an Olympian. Like, it's just so wonderful to meet an actual Olympian. I don't know, it's just like, wow, I'm starstruck right now. So you know, back to the conversation. We're talking about, you know, changing our mindset and reprogramming the way we think, and changing habits as well. So I think we've talked quite a bit about reprogramming our minds. So whilst you were talking, I was thinking, okay, so let's go back to our brother who was blaming the dad, and you know, have found themselves in a gang, and now they've watched the show, and thank God they've decided, you know, okay, I have a lot more power than what my circumstances are right now. I want to change, and you know, I want to start doing the mind reprogramming and everything. How do you relate that decision you've made and the changes you're making within you? How do you relate that to your environment? Because I mean, and I know you've done it, because you know, you've already explained that you had a dream bigger than yourself, and eventually your body caught up to it. And then, but like, speak to, you know, those people, those of us in that situation. How do we allow our bodies to catch up to the dreams that we're having? Because me, I'm dreaming of owning a yacht, you know, so, but I can't swim and I don't know how to even drive. So how does my body now catch up to it? Is it something that we have to make a conscious effort to make, or is it something that will just fall into our lap?
I think it's something that you have to make a conscious effort.
Okay, so it's not enough to just want it.
No,
because I feel like that's what a lot of people just, oh yeah, I'm gonna just dream, yeah, I'm gonna be a millionaire, but then I'm gonna spend 24 hours in church.
No, it doesn't.
I wouldn't go to this job interview because I have fasted. So how does that work?
It doesn't work like that because I think I said before, you have to think greater than your environment, because of course your environment will put restriction on you, or you may come from a poor environment but you do not have the network, in example, to get the job you want, or you do not have the education background. But that is the limitation of society and the environment. Within you and within your soul, you are actually limitless. So you have to think bigger than your environment. The second part is gratitude. You have to be grateful for the situation that you are in. If you're a Christian, you accept and said, okay, I thank God for being in this situation. You know, I accept it. But what next? I wanted to be this person. You visualize it. If you are Buddhist monk, you meditate about it. You visualize you being that person. You feel it within yourself. Okay. So when you have this emotion, energy charge into your brain, and then transmit it to the universe, and saying to the universe, this is what I want, you have to endorse it, because that's the way I feel. I feel I'm going to be a millionaire, so this is what I want. Leave that other aspect to the universe. You go, if you want a job, you take yourself to do the job application. You take yourself to the job interview. Allow the universe to align the energy for the synchronicity to happen, for the dots to connect.
Right.
When the dots connect, you will find your place. It's like saying that you wanted to win the lottery, but you don't go and buy a lottery ticket.
Yeah, because you don't believe in lottery.
It doesn't work like so. You must have a dream. You must dream inside, bigger than the environment, but you have to put the work in. Because when you are putting the work in, the dots will begin to align, and your mind will begin to talk to you and say that, okay, have you seen that job advert over there? Maybe it's time for you to apply for it. So the small voice will start pointing, this is what you need to do, this is what you need to do. And the perfect blessed moment from the universe happens in the perfect timing, that you do not work hard for it, and also it doesn't have any complication attached to it.
Right.
Those are the perfect moments. So I always tell people that do not go to church all the time praying and sitting in the church or somewhere and thinking, I do not want to I don't want to work and manna should rain from heaven. It doesn't
work like that.
You have to discharge the emotion out, and you physically have to go then work, because our brain work in the quantum field, it has no limit. You know, you can use your brain to imagine that I'm in somewhere in China. It's automatically happen. But the process of creation takes time. It's not your job to dictate. Your job is to just believe and accept that this will happen, and just put the work in and wait for the dot to align, and it will happen.
So is this why good things happen to bad people? Because they just believe.
There's an element, but when you look at most of the successful people, whether they are bad or good people, they all have belief and creativity. You know?
So what we're talking about, like, it doesn't judge. There's no judgment.
No.
Right.
You have and I have been taught since we were a kid that God punished people.
Yeah.
And I will say that I don't believe in that. I believe that the spirit does not judge.
Yes.
I believe also that human beings have free will to make our own decisions.
Of course, yeah.
But when we enter the human body and we arrive, for some reason, we forget about everything. But it's our duty to find out where we can seek for help, and it's our duty to type into the resources that has been given to us to find ourselves. Okay, and I call it an objective God, not a subjective. Subjective can be judgmental. It means that I support you to reflect certain things because when you do this, that's what I like. But you have an objective God. So whether you are criminal or something, the thought and the path you choose will happen to you. Whether you wanted to be a bad business person, it depends on the emotions that you send, because the world work on emotions. It's our emotions and our thought that is causing us a problem. There was one scientist, physician, who looked at the electromagnetic field after the World Trade Center. So what happened is the electromagnetic field moved when the plane hit the World Trade Center, and they were thinking why this happened. It's because of the collective emotion that the human race felt at that particular moment when that disaster happened. It shifted the electromagnetic field. And so our emotions are so strong and powerful that they transmit the information.
Literally.
Because your brain is just antenna, it's just a receiver. It receives the information from above and translates it into the reality. So if you're all the time feeding this negative emotion, you will get the negative result. You can be a bad rich businessman. If you translate positive emotion, you get that positive result. And then the other side is, who are you to judge? You shouldn't judge people. It's not your duty to judge anyone. Your duty is to accept things as it is. I may not like you, I may not get on with you, but I respect you and I love you who you are. I'm not going to judge you. If our energy and our soul doesn't connect, I move my path.
That's it.
But I have no prejudice view about you. So who are we to say that someone is bad or good? Because at the end of it, everything return back to the source, and it's connected back to the source. But our prejudice view in society have differentiated every pattern of life, and you see it in the world. You see it as COVID, for example. The human race is not learning. Now they are talking about not giving intellectual property right to some countries to produce COVID, and it makes you wonder that will the human race ever learn that life is a collective responsibility instead of individualism? And I wonder if we'll ever sit and thought that we are creating all the problems that we face here. Because I think fundamentally the only thing that exists that you take with you from this earth is unconditional love. That's the only thing that ever existed. So it means that unconditional love is the foundation of all creation. And unconditional love, it is the tool that you can use to liberate your soul from all this predicament. Because if you love someone unconditionally, if you're in a relationship and you love someone unconditionally and they do something bad to you and it doesn't work out, you're free. You have nothing to do. You not build any resentment against the person. You liberate your soul from all this nonsense, you know. But we don't understand it because we love people with expectation. If you don't meet my expectation and it breaks down, we are enemies. That is no. So imagine if you say, if God or the universe love us like that, then I'm sure no one will exist on this planet.
We will be burnt alive. Wow.
So.
Wow. This is just, I mean, it's very thought-provoking, like to just know that we have all this power within us, yet many of us don't even understand it, let alone tap into it. And I mean, you're a perfect example of what that power can do. And you know, I just want to say thank you so much for coming on the show and sharing your story with us and your wisdom with us. I'm really, really touched, and I feel like there's a lot of changing I have to make and a lot of reprogramming I have to do. So, you know, when you say like if you think negative, is it just like, oh, you know, I have a negative thought, so it's stored and it's gonna happen someday? Or is it something you have to really like marinate and like ponder over and stuff? Like, how is there like a time limit on that? Or
no, so basically your attention and focus goes. So when you focus your attention on something, the energy follows.
Right.
Okay. So what happened is when we all the time have negative thoughts and views and we focus our attention on it, we draw that negativity, that energy associated with the negative aspect to that particular thought. So I'm not saying that if you have one negative, like driving a car, you have one negative thing you thought about.
It's gonna have it.
No, you have to apply force to that.
Okay.
And the force is constant focus.
Okay.
If you apply constant focus to that, then you have a problem. It's the same like the people who experience transcendence when they are doing meditation. It's because they are able to apply their focus. First of all, they set themselves free, detach themselves with all these worries and all these thoughts, and they begin to stay balanced, and they apply force to their pineal gland in their mind, in their brain. And that is the gateway between the consciousness and our human body.
Right.
And sadly, when it opens, they begin to get these mystical experiences. It's also related to the Christian world, when people fasting for days in a room, they don't talk to anyone.
Yeah.
And sadly, that thing get activated. They begin to see visions, so they can experience past and present. And presence. And that is what I mean. So if you focus your attention on something, you draw the energy, and that energy will help it manifest. So the I wouldn't say is that you have to say positive all the time. What I would say is it's very important to show gratitude and appreciation, and have compassion, and have unconditional love towards everything as it is. Because sometimes I have a problem with the human race, and the problem is, why do we take things so personal? Where were you when the universe was created? You are just a tiny particles of the whole cosmos. So it's never about you.
Right.
So there is always a fundamental reason behind everything that happened. It's not you to question it. So it's not about you. Just be grateful.
But then, if it's not about me, why do we have emotions?
Because your emotion is there to help you to dictate what is good and what is bad.
Right.
Your emotion is there
not to hold a
help
grudge.
you. No,
Okay.
It's there to help
I'll
you
learn.
make the right decisions. You know, because your heart is the ultimate intelligent organ in your body.
Okay.
And the Egyptian knows it.
It's not the brain.
No.
Really?
No. Your heart is the most intelligent.
And this is fact.
This is fact. It can tell you exactly what is happening if you listen to your heart. That is why it's very important. We call it heart and brain coherence. Those two has to work together. Okay? And ultimately also, even the Christian world, they will tell you that the heart is a powerful source of love, and it a symbol of love with everything. And the heart speaks. If you listen to the heart, it's the ultimate intelligence. The brain is just a receiver. Okay. So you have your the Buddhists call it the chakra. Your chakra, the last one, end on the crown, and then you have another one. Okay. So your brain is just receiving information from there, but the heart knows best, and it will always give you a direction. But what do? We listen to the chappy in our brains, rather than listen to the heart. So heart coherence is also very important, and it can stop you from getting a lot of diseases as well.
Wow. Listen, it's just amazing. So your sister Alice Nate says, I refuse to think negative. My brother, when you are full of negative words, he will not come close to you at all. Okay, that's good to know. And we will try not to be negative here, so we can have your brother back on the show. So she says he always believe he can make it, and yes, I thank God he made it. I mean, if you didn't make it, I wouldn't believe a word you said. But you know, so wow, I can't believe that's the time already. I could sit here and listen to you all day. Are you gonna write a book? Have you written?
I wrote my autobiography, and at the moment I'm working on a book which has to do with tax evasion, trying to explain tax evasion in different dimension. And I've just wrote a chapter in a book called The Power of the the brain and attitude.
Okay.
So what this particular chapter, I was invited by one New York bestseller if I could write a piece about basically my attitude and my perception about life in general. But since I lost my younger sister, and as I'm developing and I'm being awake, I have also learned to understand that success is a collective responsibility.
Okay.
Success is not just about how much I can accumulate. Success is how much I can inspire others, how much I can share with others in my short time on this planet. This is the way I see success. So when I was writing to the CEO, I was transmitting information to them that the mind is very important and it is a central aspect of our success and the way we develop our behavior.
Yeah.
But within the same mind as well, there is something there that tells us that we have to have compassionate. We have to see ourselves as part of the universe, so that when we are making a successful decision, we are including other people.
Right.
And the book, I was saying that they have to see success as a bigger picture. It involves everyone. It involves the trees, the planet, the sea. It's about accountability for ourselves, what we do to others. And unfortunately, I kind of learned this after I lost my sister.
Sorry
and
to
it
hear
was
that.
quite a tricky moment, because when I begin to move up the ladder, that's where I lost my sister, my younger sister at the same time. Then I started, when I lost my sister, I was sitting in front of my bed for a while. Then I got up and I decided, okay, I'll create a foundation. And nothing was making sense until the first workshop. And last week I found out that someone died in the same way as my sister. And I began to learn that, okay, her death was a wake-up call for me also to understand that there is a responsibility that I owe, or there is a duty that has been given to me to other people, but not just the amount of stuff that I have accumulated or I can accumulate, you know. And I also learned that life is more about custody of something.
Right.
So wealth and money changes hand. So today you'll be placed here and be given this amount of money, but you have to give it out so that the other part of the fund will come in your hands. So it means that you are just here to look after something. Okay, and in order for me to be happy, I have to share this, and the way to do that is for me to create this foundation and help other people.
Right.
And perhaps Mary, that is her purpose, to come and wake me up so that I will fulfill that objective in my life. So when I look at that, then I begin to think that actually my journey from where I came from to where I am, in defiance of logic, doesn't make sense. And if it doesn't make sense, then it means I have a responsibility.
Yeah.
And in the chapter, that's what I'm saying to them.
Wow.
You know, it's not good enough to say that, you know what, I make it from nothing, you know, and I become a CEO, I make multi-million pounds. No, you need to question yourself. What am I doing? What is my purpose? And what am I here to create? Because we are here to contribute somehow. It might be tiny part, but we are here to contribute somehow.
Yeah.
And you have to fulfill that.
Wow. So like you said, it's not all about you.
No.
It's always a bigger picture, and when we're in tune with the universe, everything falls into place and everything works together for our good. Wow. Tell us first, sorry to hear that you've lost your sister. I know we're good for time. But tell us a little bit about the foundation, and can we get involved, and
Yeah, sure. So basically, I got into my sister's issue quite late. So she had fibrosis and then liver cancer in the end. So it happened in quick time, and she was a perfect soul, and you wouldn't have wished that to happen to her. And I think that incident woke me up a bit as well, because then I began to question creation and begin to question God, because I don't think innocent people losing their life there's a justification for it. I felt and the honest truth is I felt hatred and anger towards God,
right?
Because I just thought it was pointless. And then I begin to meditate a lot, and I begin to let go and try to understand myself better, because I have been taught that God is a punishable God. I have been told that you go to hell. I've been told that bad people deserve this and that. But then, if bad people deserve this and that, why does innocent people die?
Yeah.
There might be a purpose for it.
Good question.
Then, when I question myself, I begin to see the bigger picture, and I begin to see my sister's death is not about me. It's about something that must happen in that present moment.
Right.
And if in the universe, in the other dimension, there's no space or time, and everything is happening now, then there's nothing. There's all that is, and at the same time there's nothing.
There's nothing, yeah.
So fundamentally, I am questioning something that I don't even want to know the answer.
Yeah.
So I begin to think, then what can I do, or what should I do for the living whilst I am here? So I decided to create the foundation that will screen women in Ghana, and also offer medical advice to women, especially in Africa, when women are going through certain problems they don't want to talk about it. So it opened this educational program, and also the other part is empowerment, to try to empower the women. But the first workshop as well, in Adan, when we were in the village, I found out that the men had problem as well. So they said, can we get screening? Can we see the doctor? So in the end, I just let everyone goes and have the screening and have the medical consultation. I plan to organize free workshop in a year or 4 if I have the funds for it. So it's offering cancer advice and urge women to speak to your doctors if they see something unusual about their body, and also is to try to help people if we can, so that it not get to the last stage. If it's at the last stage, then there's not much we can do. So that's the idea, and my next objective, I wanted to build a clinic in Ghana that would look at that aspect, but at the same time also would talk about the connection between the mind. The body, the brain, and the soul, because there are three things that works together.
Please do it, because it's very, very important. So
that's where we are with the foundation. So we have the second workshop. One of the workshop, I decided it has to be permanent. One of them will permanently be in Adan, because that's where my sister and I came from. That's where my dad was buried and my sister was buried as well. Then the rest, I will just move them.
Make it mobile.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so that's what the foundation is about. And ultimately, I hope the awareness of situation will be better and people can seek help, because normally these things shouldn't happen. But the lifestyle of African people is changing. They live a more stressful life. They develop more stressful hormones. They develop more imbalance in their brain and in their body. And overgrown cells create cancer. So they are prone to getting cancer these days than 60 years ago. And the food as well, which is not healthy. So I think awareness of these things will be very important.
Yeah, it's very, very important. And I think using your platform and sharing that knowledge is definitely making a difference. And it's definitely teaching us to move away from certain things and focus more on better and positive things. Wow, thank you so much for coming on the show. We've gone over, but the conversation was so good. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. You've been watching the 3D show with myself, Desire, and we've been talking to Dr. Nate. The conversation has been so profound and so amazing. I mean, there's so much gems, from being aware that, holding on to negativity, something like just something as silly as a negative thought can actually lead to a physical illness. If I know many of us didn't know this, but today we're learning. And but then at the same time, something also as silly as holding on to a positive thought can create that dream and can actually get you over that finish line. So our mind is a very powerful thing. It's about time we take ownership of that, and we become bold enough to dream, and we dare ourselves to actually be positive. And I feel like the takeaway for me today, which I feel like when I pray, God is like, yo, change your tune, because I am so grateful. Like I don't know, I don't even ask for anything anymore, because I'm just so grateful for the little that I have, because the little that you have, the little that I have is somebody's ultimate dream. So no matter what it is that you're going through, no matter what your physical circumstances are, remember that you have the power to create, and you've got the universe in your arms. You just have to command it. So true to the show, make that decision today so that it will determine your great future tomorrow. Just before we go, have you got any final words? Have you got any thank yous, any shout outs to your loved ones? Please say hello to your sister Alice, because and then Nana K Nate as well. Is that your brother?
Yeah.
Oh wow, the whole family is watching. Hi Nate family. So please just share some love to your fans and your family just before we wrap up.
Yeah, first of all, thanks for inviting me to the show. It's
My
been
pleasure.
a insightful conversation, and also sharing experience about different aspects of life, because we all experience life in a different way, I think, and we all have different objectives in life. We just need to find a way to make that objective reality, really. And thanks for my family for watching.
Yes.
And thanks for their support as well. I know sometimes I have to be hard on them if certain thinking pattern does not resonate to something that I want them to, the direction I want them to go. But we are all in life. We are all here to learn. There is no one above someone. Some people are self-aware more, some people are not, but it's not a bad thing. What I would say is, you always have to look within yourself rather than the outside world. Happiness cannot be found outside. Temporary it can be, but then you'll be returning back to where you were before. So you always need to look within yourself and find your inner strength. I think you need to be grateful in life, because it's very important that you get up every morning and show gratitude, appreciation. Whoever you believe in, trees, animals, mountains, they all have consciousness in them, and they exist as well. So you have to show gratitude and appreciation, and always demonstrate unconditional love towards people. It might be helping someone to carry their bags. You might be giving certain little bit of change to someone. It's always good to show this, because one day we will all cross over, and when you cross over, you will see that how little out of kindness have a profound effect on people's life, and we should make that as a duty to each other in this world, and just live as a perfect human being rather than a lacking human being. When you live as a perfect human being, leave the rest to the universe to sort out. It's not your duty.
Wow. This is so, like, I don't think I have any other words to add to this because it will just dilute all the vibes, you know. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in. It's been wonderful having everybody tune in via Facebook. We're getting all comments from everywhere. If you missed the show, please go back and watch it. We will post it on our YouTube, Entity TV. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment, guys. Yeah, I think I need to put out there in the universe that I want to stop saying guys, because there are ladies as well watching us. So forgive me, ladies, as well. But, you know, I do hope that you will have a wonderful week ahead. Please stay safe. We are this close to coming out of lockdown fully. So please, I'm going to be looking for you if because of you, they put us back into lockdown. So please be safe. Try and keep your distance if you can. Wear your mask in public if you can, and of course don't forget to wash your hands and, you know, sanitize as much as you can. Do have a wonderful week, and I will see you next week, the same time, same place. Good night and God bless. My name is Desire. I'll see you next week.